Hey everyone! While you're watching this run, I want to share what I learned during Season 13. After the run, I'll show you the exact build I used and explain why it worked. This time, I'm using a completely different glyph, one that almost nobody is using. After the run, I'll explain why I switched to it and why I think it's so strong. When I uploaded my previous 3:59 run, I thought breaking the 3-minute barrier would only take a few more attempts. I was completely wrong. It took me many hours of testing, changing gear, improving my gameplay, and trying different strategies before I finally achieved this 2:56 run. Some of the changes worked, some didn't, but in the end, every small improvement made a difference. One thing I learned this season is that you shouldn't always try to copy the players at the very top of the pit or tower leaderboards. Just because something works for them doesn't mean it will work for you. Some of the top players also have advantages that most of us don't, so comparing yourself to them isn't always realistic. Instead, focus on improving your own build, your own gameplay, and your own routing. The second thing I learned is how much gear really matters. Getting gear that's comparable to the players at the very top is incredibly difficult. Let me explain why. I copied the entire paragon setup from the player who completed Pit 150 in just 1 minute and 14 seconds. I tested the exact same setup, but I still couldn't get anywhere close. My best time was still over 4 minutes. At first, I kept asking myself what I was doing wrong. Then I took a much closer look at the gear. That's when I realized the biggest difference wasn't the paragon board or a single glyph. It was the overall quality of the gear. That character has around 3,800 intelligence and almost perfect cube upgrades on nearly every item. At that level of gear, you have so much extra power that you can even change a glyph or make other adjustments and still achieve an incredible result. I also tested several different glyphs. With most of them, my runs were around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I wasn't trying to get the perfect pit layout with spiders or any other favorable map. I simply ran whatever pit I got. I wanted to compare the builds under the same conditions, not wait for the perfect run. First, let me quickly show you the gear I used for this run. Then we'll come back and talk about the build, the changes I made, and why I chose this glyph. Let's quickly go over the build. I got a little lucky with my helmet. The cube gave me intelligence, which was a nice upgrade. I also replaced my critical strike chance gloves with greater affix attack speed gloves. Compared to my previous record, I changed my boots to get more critical strike chance. At first, I wasn't sure if it was worth losing 2 ranks of ball lightning, but in the end, it allowed me to balance my attack speed and critical strike chance much better, and the results were definitely better for me. Now let's talk about the glyphs. The first one is Tactician. That's the standard choice, and the one most players are already using. The second one is Electrocute. It gives me more critical strike chance against stunned or frozen enemies, and it also adds 15% lightning damage. The next glyph is Eliminator. First, it greatly boosts all the normal nodes around it. On top of that, it gives me a significant amount of extra damage against elite enemies. The last 2 glyphs are the standard ones that most players are already using, Elementalist and Destruction. Thank you all for watching. A big thank you for all the support on my previous video, especially for your comments and subscriptions. I really enjoyed reading your feedback and replying to your comments. Have a great Season 14, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.